Your entire species is trash, the Demon King sneers, his voice dripping with contempt. Now, fulfill your one remaining purpose. A swirling vortex of crimson energy coalesces in the demon's palm. Become my food, he commands with chilling finality, and become my power. A colossal beam of raw energy obliterates the lone hero. As his existence is torn apart, one image burns in his mind, his little sister. He sees the ghosts of his fallen comrades, his master, all of them sacrificed. But he refuses to go down without a fight. He grits his teeth, not for himself, but for them. For them, he whispers, unleashing a final, desperate explosion of power. The hero's life force detonates in a blinding supernova of golden light. His body cracks and shatters like glass, each fragment revealing a memory of his sister. Shards of his past flicker and die. His sister, his master, a ghost of a memory. His family, whole and happy from a time long since turned to ash. His one soul-crushing regret echoes through the void. If only I had been stronger. How dare you do this to me? The Demon King shrieks as the hero's light consumes him whole. And then, only a white, silent emptiness remains. The hero's last, desperate wish rips through reality, to stop the first Demon King, to prevent the day the world began to die. Everything flashes white in a world-ending burst of light, as if reality itself is dissolving into pure energy. A golden bracelet on his wrist cracks and disintegrates into dust. His vision slowly bleeds back into existence, focusing on a single, mundane ceiling light. He blinks, his eyes bloodshot and raw with confusion. Our boy is lying on a cot inside a small, sterile room. He jolts upright, hit by a tidal wave of disorientation. Where is this place? He stumbles from the bed and lurches towards a window. He stares out at a hospital building, alive and bustling with students. He's in total shock. He was sure the world had already been reduced to rubble. He tears his eyes away from the window, catching his reflection in the glass. A much younger version of himself stares back. A strange digital chime echoes in his ears. It sounds like a system booting up. Then, a holographic notification pops into view. Gluttony power fusion. Complete. His eyes lock onto a digital display. May 16th, 2157. Holy crap. He actually pulled it off. He jumped back 10 years in time. He realizes this is 3 years before the Demon King's arrival. The memories of the apocalypse are still fresh. He can still see the sky choked with monstrous tentacles and the shadowy demons that poured out. That was day one of humanity's utter annihilation. But now, I'm back, he whispers, staring down at the second chance he's holding in his own 2 hands. This time, he can stop the gates of hell from ever opening. But what is this gluttony power? The system interface just hangs in the air before him, waiting. He focuses on the bizarre pop-up window that has been floating just out of focus. He inspects the glowing, glitch-riddled interface hovering over his hand, a screen packed with cryptic text and numbers. What are these video game stats doing here? Si-Chen wonders, seeing every single one of his stats listed as a flat 100. His red eyes are wide as he tries to process the impossible situation. He flashes back to his past life, where he fought using incredible awakened powers. He thinks to himself that the irony is, he never actually managed to awaken his powers at the National Awakened University, which, he figures, is probably why he woke up in the school infirmary this time. Suddenly, a new, glitchy window materializes in front of him. It's an archive file for a class called Volt Assassin. He stares at the name, completely stunned. He recognizes it instantly. That was his class from his previous life. Could his old powers have been inherited in this new one? Si-Chen's eyes burn with a new intensity. He decides right then and there that he has to test his power. Now, the system begins loading the class switch as crackling arcs of lightning begin to dance around his body. But just then, a thud from the doorway shatters his concentration. A glowing card he was forming slips from his grasp and embeds itself deep in the doorframe. A guy with glasses named Malong peeks in, his jaw on the floor. Malong sprints over to his side. Si-Chen, you're awake. Are you feeling okay? Si-Chen confirms that he's fine, the chilling realization dawning on him that no one else can see the holographic interface. Malong is freaking out. How is that possible? All your injuries just vanished, he sputters. You got beat up bad yesterday. Si-Chen calmly studies his flustered friend. This is Malong, his college roommate. He remembers him all too well. A low-tier awakened, who died on the 3rd day of the invasion. But here he is, standing right in front of him, alive and real. Malong suddenly shakes his head, snapping back to the present. Oh, right. Tomorrow is the rank assessment, he shouts, grabbing Si-Chen and dragging him towards the door. It's part of our graduation evaluation. Man, they emerge onto a campus buzzing with life, students everywhere, showing off their unique powers. It's a peaceful afternoon, with people playing sports and jogging. It's been so long since I've seen this many living people, Si-Chen says softly, completely unsettling his friend Malong. Malong gives him a weird look. and nervously suggests, why don't we just walk around the field instead? As they make their way across the campus grounds. But Si Chen is lost in his own world, haunted by the memory of the ruins he left behind, the ultimate price of his failure. His eyes begin to glow with cold determination. He has to act now, to level up as fast as humanly possible. In this era, there's only one way for the awakened to truly get stronger. He thinks to himself, already sizing up his new potential. He glances over at Ma Long, confident that he's already leagues above his friend. And then bam! A basketball flies out of nowhere and smacks Ma Long square in the face. He smashes into the concrete, his glasses skittering across the ground. Well, if it isn't Shi Chen and Ma Long, a jeering voice echoes from a group lounging on the nearby steps. The guy in the tank top smirks down at them. You two recovered surprisingly fast. Ma Long's blood runs cold. He can't believe they ran into these thugs again. I told you these two could take a beating, the leader brags, his face a mask of pure smugness. He sneers at them. You both know I'm playing ball later. He snaps his fingers, demanding they fetch him some drinks. Ma Long immediately starts to crumble. Sorry, I'll go buy some right now. But Shi Chen's hand stops him. You're not the one in the wrong here, he says firmly. The ones who should be apologizing are the bullies. One of the delinquents heckles them from the stairs, while their leader comments on how quickly they bounced back from the last beatdown. Ma Long whispers that their luck is absolute trash for crossing his path again. Told you these two were built different? The leader grins. Shi Chen's eyes narrow into slits. Oh, for real? This guy. And then it hits him. A memory, so sharp, it feels like yesterday. He's being held underwater in a bathroom by these same lowlifes. Absolutely brutal. In the flashback, Ma Long is pleading for them to let him go. The bully just laughs. Why would we stop? I'm doing him a favor. He claims they're just trying to spark Si Chen's awakening, but the only thing that happened was Si Chen passing out from the trauma. A bored-looking goon comments as they leave him on the grimy bathroom floor. Ma Long scrambles to his side, desperately asking if he's all right. In the past, all Shi Chen could do was cry. Why do they never leave us alone? Poor kid. He can still see the bully's cruel smile and those glowing eyes commanding his cronies to keep tormenting him. Back in the present, the bully repeats his demand for drinks. Ma Long starts to apologize again, conditioned to obey, but the bully's expression twists in confusion, like something just went off script. Ma Long is just as lost, looking at Shi Chen, who must have blocked his path. The bully's face gets serious. A spiky, toxic green energy erupts around his arms. Meet Gong Cheng, an E-rank awakened. Shi Chen's red eyes glare right back, blazing with an ice-cold resolve. This time, things will be different. Ma Long explains that this is Gong Cheng, a psycho who only preys on the weak. A crowd starts to brew, sensing that Gong Cheng is about to throw down. They start whispering about his targets, calling them the two biggest losers in school. Gong Cheng lunges forward, his foot glowing with that nasty green aura. He snatches Shi Chen by the collar of his shirt. What did you just say to me? Shi Chen stares back with those ice-cold red eyes. From now on, don't ever bother us again. And yup, the bully totally loses his cool. I think you really need another beatdown. But as the punch flies, Shi Chen's hand shoots up, blocking the attack with zero effort. Gong Cheng stumbles backward, completely shocked that his punch was stopped so easily. The onlookers are absolutely stunned by this insane turn of events. No shot, he actually blocked Gong Cheng's punch, someone in the crowd thinks. Shi Chen just smirks while a loading bar for a class switch pops into his vision. Talk about perfect timing. Ma Long's glasses are cracked as he screams. When the hell did you awaken? Yellow lightning now crackles around Shi Chen's entire body. A sudden streak of red flashes across the frame. Damn. Gong Cheng is sent flying backward through the air from a single, devastating blow. The crowd, along with Ma Long, stands in total, jaw-dropping disbelief at what they just witnessed. The bully shrieks at his crew from the ground. Are you idiots just gonna stand there and watch? But his white-haired lackey is just frozen, paralyzed with terror. Shi Chen grabs the lackey's arm, electricity sparking violently from his grip. He effortlessly hurls the guy, zapping him in midair. The second bully crashes hard into the stadium railing. Shi Chen stands over his defeated opponents, as the rest of the pack scrambles and flees. Ma Long can only stare, completely unable to process his friend's sudden, insane power-up. Ma Long asks how in the world Shi Chen became so powerful. I've pieced a few things together, but I'm still not 100% sure of my rank. And there's still one problem I have to deal with. Shi Chen thinks to himself. Shi Chen, what are you doing? Ma Long shouts in a panic. Shi Chen has Gong Cheng pinned by the throat, electrocuting him without letting up. Holy crap. A voice cuts through the tension. Classmate, this is still school, you know. It's the vice president of the student council. She says this level of punishment is more than enough. She cracks a smile, assuring Shi Chen that this bully won't dare lay a hand on him again. The student council got here fast, Shi Chen thinks. He claims he wasn't going to do anything serious anyway, but he knows that if he doesn't scare them half to death, they'll just keep crawling back for more. The other bullies hide in the distance, swearing they'll never mess with Shi Chen again. It's time to bounce, Shi Chen tells Ma, long as they walk away from the scene. The vice president watches them go, with a deeply intrigued smirk. The weakest and the poorest, huh? Later that night, we get a wide shot of the men's dormitory. A powerful figure appears, shrouded in a brilliant, overwhelming golden aura. This is Gong Ting, the president of the Academy Student Council. He coolly dismisses his trainees for the day, and with that, training is a wrap for the day. He glances over his shoulder, and who should be lurking there but Gong Chang, the bully, now sporting a full set of bandages. Gong Tang sighs, asking, "You're seriously still here, Gong Chang?" The bandaged goon begs his brother to step in, whining that Si Cheng totally clowned him and has zero respect for the student council president. "Got it," Gong Tang replies, his ice-cold glare promising a world of hurt. Out of nowhere, a white-haired man with golden eyes chimes in, "I'll handle it for you." Elsewhere, a knife slices into a juicy, expensive steak. This guy and a blonde woman are deep in conversation over dinner. She asks him what his game plan is. He scoffs, saying Gong Chang only lost because he was pathetic. This man, Gong Wei, then asks if Si Cheng is really the powerhouse she's making him out to be. She leans in, explaining she has intel on everyone's rank, and out of all the students, fewer than 10 have hit D rank, and he recruited every single one. She goes on, pointing out that no one else has his kind of pipeline to demon slayers. Average awakened have no real path to get stronger, and absolutely no one can keep up with Gong Wei's insane growth. Cut to Si Cheng, grinding it out in a torrential downpour. Our boy is crushing a 20-kilometer run, with a 100-kilogram weight strapped to his back. The system chimes in, explaining that this brutal training is the only way to upgrade his physical stats, and an awakened's power level is hard-capped by their physical strength. But even as he pushes his body to the brink, Si Cheng knows this is nowhere near enough. His mind flashes back to the horrific day the Demon King of Wrath descended, unleashing a massacre on humanity. He remembers holding someone precious, as she bled out in the rain. Absolutely brutal. Back in the present, his eyes burn with a fiery, unshakable resolve. His one and only mission in this second chance at life is to hunt down and kill the Demon King of Wrath, the cataclysm that started it all. A voice in his head declares. In that exact moment, his phone buzzes to life in his pocket. He pulls it out, and sees an incoming call from a girl named Xiao Yun. He's completely stunned. He fumbles with his earbud and hastily answers. She asks why he spammed her with calls, explaining her phone died right in the middle of a competition. She's buzzing with excitement, telling him, if she wins, they can finally get their landlord off their backs. Tears are streaming down Si Cheng's face, mixing with the rain, but he just tells her it's nothing. Poor dude. She reminds him they just talked 2 days ago, and tells him to hang tight for her good news. The moment the call ends, Si Cheng is back to the grind, pounding out laps in the pouring rain. Well into the night, he finally drags himself back to the dorm, where Ma Long is already passed out. After washing up, his mind focuses on the biggest problem he's facing. To level up, he absolutely has to dive into a demon lair, a voiceover explains, noting the guild's complete chokehold on access. His thoughts also drift back to that bizarre gluttony power he'd read about. As if summoned by his thoughts, a system message flares to life. The gluttony system is now online. In an instant, Si Cheng is ripped into a dark void, his eyes blown wide with shock. He's plummeting through a surreal, pink-hued dimension, his body engulfed by shadow energy before he crashes into a desolate wasteland. He has no idea where he is. Am I dreaming? Back in the dorm, Malong wakes up for a second, telling someone that Si Cheng went out for a run. Si Cheng is still hurtling through the strange energy field. He lands in a sea of crimson liquid, staring up at a massive, twisted tower that scrapes the sky. He can't even begin to guess what this ominous thing is. Just then, skeletal nightmares, called Direhounds, begin to claw their way out of the bloody water. As his class switch interface loads, it hits him. He's inside a demon lair. The pack of monsters lunges straight for him. Si Cheng explodes into a blur of lightning, planting a devastating kick on the first hound. Its skull shatters into a million pieces, and a notification dings. He just got 3 fangs of doom. This feels way too real to be a dream, he thinks, as he proceeds to absolutely demolish the rest of the monsters. And boom, he gets a level up, hitting level 2 Volt Assassin. He can actually farm EXP here. His status screen pops into view, flashing his new level and boosted stats. He even scored some loot, 18 fangs and a Doom Fang crystal, apparently boss monsters. Dropped several times the experience of normal mobs, because a system message explains he's been instantly boosted to level 3. I've already leveled up twice, he thinks. Just as he spots a weird prompt floating over the dead monster's head, Devourable. Si Cheng stares, his red eyes wide with confusion. He sees the same prompt hovering over another mangled corpse, and wonders what on earth devourable is supposed to mean. He reaches out a hand, and it immediately begins to glow with an intense red light. His eyes blaze as he focuses his power, bracing for what's next. Devouring in progress, the system announces. As dark energy erupts from the monster's corpse, he clenches his fist as the raw power surges into him, crackling with pure energy. A card materializes before him, displaying the stats for a Doomfang King. I can kill them and devour them, turning them into my own classes, he realizes. His eyes go wide with shock as the sheer, game-breaking implications of this power slam into him. Isn't this? He trails off, as a memory of an unbelievably powerful demon flashes in his mind. He knows that ability. It's the same power the Demon King of Gluttony once wielded. Holy crap. With a look of grim determination, he accepts that this legendary power has now become his. In this world, classes are born unequal, and the one ironclad rule is that you only ever get one. In his possession, Si Chen now clutches two separate class cards, his original Volt Assassin and the brand new Doomfang King. He glares out at a literal sea of monsters, and a chilling realization dawns on him. He could potentially wield countless classes. His eyes begin to glow, lit by a terrifying new awareness of his own limitless potential. He wrenches his gaze away, a single question echoing in his mind. Why was he the one blessed with this impossibly broken power? Si Chen's eyes travel up the staggering height of a demonic tower, wondering what the hell it is, when a voice cuts through the silence. So, you finally arrived. I have been waiting for you for a very long time, the voice booms, resonating from a skeletal warrior perched at the apex of a grand staircase. This hooded monstrosity calls him by his name, Si Chen, reminding us that in this world, power is scaled from a pathetic E all the way up to a god-tier S rank. Without warning, an invisible force slams into Si Chen, sending him flying. A bitter memory flashes through his mind. He literally gave his life just to hit S rank in his previous timeline. But as it stands, his power level is capping out at D rank. It dawns on him that his opponent is intentionally missing his kill zones. This skeletal monstrosity just stares down at his futile resistance. Si Chen spits a glob of blood, his eyes burning with defiance, as the warrior lays out an ultimatum. Stay and guard this tower with me, the being proposes, its voice dripping with condescension. Do you truly believe I can't snuff you out in an instant? The only reason I'm being patient is because you're the first person to ever reach this place, it explains, summoning more of those vicious shadow hounds from pools of crimson liquid. So choose, stay, or I'll grind you into a fine paste. But Si Chen responds by flaring his own power. I came here to kill you, he roars. Absurd, the warrior scoffs, just before a massive blast of energy sends it reeling backward. But Si Chen is already calculating. He's cracked the code. He'd noticed a tiny 0.4-second wind-up before every single attack. Armed with this insight, he flawlessly predicts the trajectory of the next swing and weaves under the blade. He'd also identified a 0.2-second window of vulnerability in the follow-through. The skeletal warrior's eyes widen with shock as it realizes the boy's gambit. He's aiming for that tiny opening to plunge a blade straight through its heart. Si Chen unleashes a skill, Flash God, instantly multiplying his movement speed by 10 times and turning him into a blur. He thinks to himself, the precious few seconds I bought are all I need to escape. Throughout the entire confrontation, his eyes had been locked on the only source of light. His hand stretches toward a bizarre, pixelated glow, but as he leaps for his exit, the light simply winks out of existence. A voice materializes directly behind him. That was merely an afterimage. There is no way out. The shadowy demon confesses it's impressed that Si Chen pinpointed the flaw in its combat style so quickly, before finally revealing its true, terrifying form. Purgatory Rakshasa J, an S-rank star warrior. Bro, what a name. The revelation leaves Si Chen utterly shell-shocked. He is then thrust into a brutal gauntlet, forced to battle a string of ferocious demons, first a monstrous ice fiend, then a colossal, multi-headed ice dragon. We see him slam a blazing fist into another horned monstrosity, and even grapple with a gigantic plant creature armed with razor-sharp vines. His gaze lifts to a radiant, almost angelic figure hovering in the heavens. But through every trial, Si Chen's eyes burn with unshakable resolve. The Purgatory Rakshasa J now stands before him, clad in its full, intimidating armor. It then reverts to its previous form, shrouded in a menacing purple aura. Si Chen frantically scans his surroundings, and a wild, unbelievable thought begins to form in his mind. He dares to wonder, could this entire dimension be located inside his own body? The demon cracks a sinister grin. Damn, kid, you don't just handle pressure well, you're also freakishly sharp. You are worthy of claiming everything here. Si Chen can only repeat the words, dumbfounded, everything. Here, an object materializes before him, an SS rank key of the Time Rift. The demon reveals that this is the master key to the Demon Tower. It recounts the tale of Gluttony, a being that devoured countless demons, sealing the most powerful among them within the tower. And this demon is Gluttony. Devour them all, it commands Si Chen, and you will become the undisputed master of this power. Consume them and make their strength your own. The demon's words echo as the battered Si Chen stares at the impossibly ornate key. Taking it in his hand, he asks, "Why are you doing all of this for me?" The demon explains that the Demon King, in a selfish quest for power, annihilated its entire clan. "The answers you're searching for are all locked away inside the Demon Tower," it says, as its physical form begins to dissolve into pure energy. "Take my power," it urges, "and claim our revenge." Si Chen is speechless. "Take your power?" The demon roars as it disintegrates. "From this moment on, you will grow stronger. You will devour everything inside that tower. And then, you will ultimately devour the Demon Kings themselves." Its energy erupts in a blinding flash of light. "Only someone like you is worthy," the demon's voice echoes, fading fast. Its form dissolves completely into the white emptiness of wielding my power. The final wisp of its energy whispers as it shoots directly towards Si Chen. The stream of purple energy flows into his hand, and a system message flashes before his eyes. "Devouring in progress." "I get it," Si Chen says, his eyes now blazing with a terrifying, cold resolve. "I'll carry your grudge for you," the newly crowned Purgatory Rakshasa Star Warrior vows, "and I will make every single one of them pay in blood," he proclaims, just as a harsh ray of sunlight suddenly slices through a window. "Get up, everyone," a voice shouts from outside the room, as Si Chen's eyes slowly blink open in the morning glow. He pushes himself up, finding himself in his dorm room bunk bed. Thrown back into the real world, Si Chen jolts awake, completely disoriented. He frantically pats himself down, his mind racing to separate the dream from reality. He blinks, realizing every wound has vanished, and for a split second, he wonders if it was all just a fever dream, but the glowing system screen in front of him confirms the brutal reality. It displays his new level 10 status and a full inventory of loot. In a single, insane night, our guy skyrocketed to level 10. His dorm mate calls out, leaning over his bed with a smug grin, saying he heard Ji Chen suddenly got strong enough to aim for his #1 ranking. He urges Ji Chen to get his butt in gear because the official rank evaluation is about to kick off. This dude shamelessly chomps down on a pastry while walking, boasting to his buddies that while they're all just basic E ranks, he's a cut above as a mid-tier E rank. "The power gap is so huge, I could probably body 10 of you at once," he brags, puffing his chest out as he struts away. Convinced his own rank has probably jumped again, Ma Long hypes up Si Chen, telling him to go all out and snag a D rank just to wipe that smirk off the guy's face. As they slice through the campus, you can cut the tension with a knife. Out of nowhere, a bunch of toughs start violently shoving people aside. They're immediately clocked as Gong Chen's goons, and the lead dog with the white hair looks especially menacing. But then the bully's jaw drops when he sees them treating Si Chen with absolute respect, making him wonder if Ma Long's wild stories were actually true. Si Chen glides past them without a word, as the two lackeys give him a deep, reverent bow, only for a sharp voice to call out from behind. Si Chen pivots, his crimson eyes narrowing to face a flashy new challenger, who demands to know if they realize who they just dissed. "Do you have any idea that he's the little brother of our revered student council president, Lord Gong Ting?" The bully and his crew are completely shook. They recognize the newcomer as a heavy-hitting D-ranker. "I can practically smell a true powerhouse." The guy in the loud floral shirt boasts with a smirk. He leans right into Si Chen's personal space and snarls, "But on you. All I smell is the stench of a nobody who's doomed to rot at the bottom forever." That taunt smell, a true powerhouse, echoes in his head. "You a dog or something?" Si Chen fires back without even blinking, and the comeback leaves the bully completely speechless. He starts screeching in rage, but just then, a blond man, with piercing golden eyes, steps between them. He declares that after investigating, the bully, Gong Chang, is the one who started it all. He turns to leave, coldly stating that it's only right to pay the price for your own screw-ups. This blond guy, clearly someone with authority, remains silent, his expression like stone. Si Chen locks eyes with him, his own gaze just as fierce. The blond man announces it's time for the rank evaluation, internally writing Si Chen off as a nobody who poses zero threat. The scene snaps to a colossal testing ground, swarming with students hyped for the ceremony. High above, two shadowy figures observe from a skyscraper. One questions the other's sudden interest in the ceremony. Down in the arena, a student steps up to the plate, ready to prove his worth. He strides through a shimmering blue portal, entering the evaluation chamber, a dark, cavernous room laced with thick cables. The rule is simple. Unleash every ounce of your power into the demon core. The evaluator instructs the student standing before the pulsating orb. This energy is then channeled from the core through the cables to external equipment. The system's voice booms. It's pulling the raw power from its very center. Finally, that energy is translated into hard data, blasted onto a massive screen for the entire crowd to see. The announcer calls it out as the mid-tier E-rank results for the first student, Xiang Zhuo, flash across the display. An official jots down the rank but looks puzzled, noticing that the rest of the data hasn't loaded in yet. But someone in the crowd is getting fired up, screaming that the real show is about to start. Because besides current rank, the system can also measure your potential. The highest rank a class is projected to reach in the future, a text box explains on the humming screen. Looks like my rank hasn't budged at all in 2 years. I was really hoping to break into D rank, the crushed student thinks to himself. The announcer then calls for the next contestant. He mumbles to his friends as they try to console him on the stairs, telling him he's not the only one who fell short of D rank. The announcer's voice roars over the electrified crowd. The big screen confirms it. The first D rank of the year has officially arrived. Then the dude in the floral shirt emerges, also clocking in at D rank, but with a jaw-dropping A rank potential. Xiang Zhuo's friends just sink deeper into despair. Someone notes that this is already the 8th D ranker. Next up for the rank evaluation. The announcer booms. A pair of flawlessly polished dress shoes steps into view as the name is called, Gong Ting. It's the blonde student council president. The crowd goes absolutely wild for the former D ranker. It's finally his turn, a spectator whispers in awe. Inside the chamber, the demon core throbs with an overwhelming energy, its single, massive eye, seeming to watch the event with intelligence. The rank and potential gauges on the screen start screaming upwards. An official monitoring the data is completely floored. That color, the results lock in. D rank, upper tier with S rank potential. Holy crap, the crowd absolutely explodes, erupting in a massive cheer for their president. Everyone is reeling from the shock that their school actually produced a student with S rank potential. The officials rush to confirm the mind-blowing results. An upper-tier D rank with S rank potential. Back in the skyscraper, the two observers remark that this year's evaluation is stacked with incredible talent. This man, a university president, turns to the woman and asks if she already knew about Gong Ting's insane potential. The blonde woman simply replies that he's not the one she came to see, a cryptic smile playing on her lips. She's completely ignoring him, saying she's way more interested in someone else. Now, his performance? She practically purrs, nodding towards Si Chen, is what I'm really looking forward to. Down in the arena, the announcer's voice echoes. Next for evaluation, Si Chen. Malong is practically bouncing in the crowd, shouting for everyone to just get ready. This guy is about to absolutely shatter everyone's expectations. A spectator yells as Si Chen's profile illuminates the jumbotron. That bully from before just watches with a twisted smirk, dripping with doubt. He's thinking, no shot this loser can actually pull this off. Inside the sealed chamber, the demon core is revealed a grotesque, pulsating creature with a single, massive eye. Si Chen faces it down. His own eyes ignite in a crimson blaze as he reaches forward, and a flash of a vision slams into his mind. A red void filled with faceless silhouettes. The image shifts again, revealing a majestic building stamped with a glowing rank symbol. Then, the scene snaps back to the bully, who's busy introducing a new recruit to his boss. The boss grins, declaring his 10-person team is now officially assembled. He boasts that with his crew of 9 solid D ranks, they're about to become the most dominant team out there. Malong and his friends look completely wrecked by this power move. Malong glances anxiously at the testing chamber, muttering that Si Chen has been in there for way too long. An official stares at a monitor, noting there hasn't been a single flicker of movement, his eyes glued to the blank rank and potential fields on Si Chen's profile. The bully from earlier lets out a nasty laugh. I bet he's too pathetic to even hit D rank. Haha, for real, a guy in a loud floral shirt says to his blonde buddy. The rest of these guys are scrubs. We should dip. The blonde agrees. All right, bet. Let's go round up the squad. But just as they pivot to leave, the testing machine begins to emit a low, powerful hum. And then bam, the screen explodes with light. Upper tier D rank. The entire arena is plunged into a stunned silence, everyone's eyes bugging out in disbelief. Malong is going absolutely feral, screaming, "You see? What did I tell you? I knew it." Even the blonde dude and his flashy friend are completely frozen. Wait, what? Upper tier D? The screen blazes with the undeniable result. Rank D, upper tier. Back inside the chamber, the demon core is pulsing like crazy. A system alert flashes. Demon core is unstable. Results may be inaccurate. Si Chen just looks at his hand, thinking, and that was just my normal physical body. He realizes his level 10 base strength alone is equivalent to a high-level D rank. A loading bar materializes in his vision as he starts switching classes. The process completes, unleashing Si Chen's Doomfang King class. Insane. He decides to put his weakest class to the test next. Outside, the rank on the giant screen begins to glitch and warp. It finally settles on a shocking new result: mid-tier C rank. The crowd absolutely erupts. What's happening? His rank jumped again. The blonde man is livid. Rank C? That's total BS. The machine has to be broken. The officials are in a panic, completely baffled, and assuming it has to be a system malfunction. The system alert flashes again. Demon core unstable. Inside the chamber, the core itself is now glowing an ominous purple and is literally sweating with fear. The core's single eye widens in absolute terror, and then a colossal vortex of purple energy erupts from the chamber. This swirling vortex darkens, morphing into a swirling black hole that hangs menacingly above the testing grounds. The entire crowd can only stare upwards in shock. What in the world is going on? Someone shrieks. Another voice whispers in awe. This is a heavenly phenomenon. This day will be remembered forever. Our academy has just produced a talent that will shake the very foundations of the world, the announcer stammers, as the potential meter glitches out of control. The flickering finally locks in on a massive, brilliant golden S for S-rank potential. The officials are going ballistic. Another one, another S-rank potential. Even the legendary Gong Ting is starting to sweat. But then, a stark warning message flashes over the S-rank result, and you can bet Malong is just screaming his head off in the crowd, completely losing his mind. You love to see it. And then the entire, massive screen just shatters into a million pieces in a deafening explosion. The officials are sent flying backward from the concussive blast. Oh no, the demon core just overloaded. He screams for someone to check if the student is okay. A team of officials storms into the darkened, sparking chamber. Are you all right in there? The lead official surveys the wrecked chamber, completely floored. He spots the demon core, which has now become a shriveled, dead husk. The core, it died? One of them whispers, and Si Chen just calmly walks right past them. Another official wonders if it died from being overworked, but our guy knows the truth. He accidentally flexed too hard and snuffed the core out, but it came with a sick bonus. He acquired a new item, an A-rank exquisite demon core, which allows him to see power ranks and get alerts on potential threats. Turns out his gluttony skill can literally just consume a demon core's energy. So, with that new intel, Si Chen steps out of the portal and back onto the testing grounds. His eye glows with an inner light. A system message pops up. The demon core has activated, and with his new power, he can see the ranks of every single person in the crowd. He thinks to himself, well, this is pretty convenient. His eyes smolder with this newfound power. An official steps up to make an announcement, stating that the demon core was overworked and unfortunately passed away. As a result, today's evaluation is suspended. The guy in the floral shirt scoffs at Si Chen's friends, sneering that the piece of junk equipment obviously just broke down. He storms right up to Si Chen, pinning the blame on him for shattering the demon core and tanking the entire mission. Golden lightning crackles around Si Chen's fist. Oh, he is not taking this disrespect lying down. He thinks to himself, this guy's mouth never stops running. His eyes begin to glow as he weighs a more permanent solution. What if I just put him in a wheelchair? But a sharp voice cuts through the tension, ordering the Hawaiian shirt-wearing dude, Changdae, to back the hell off. It's Gong Ting. He snaps at Changdae, telling him that's no way to treat their new teammate. From the crowd, someone mutters, wondering why this Si Chen guy is so special he gets a personal invite. But it's true, Gong Ting himself extended the offer. Changdae, looking seriously salty, grabs Chi Chen's arm and forces a smile, barely hiding his rage. In that case, welcome aboard, he says. But Si Chen just stonewalls him, flatly stating, your team has nothing to do with me. You're all too loud, he scoffs. With one final, withering glare from his glowing red eyes, Si Chen turns and walks away, leaving Changdae literally steaming. A wave of shock ripples through the crowd. Did someone really just curve the student council president? The gossip immediately kicks off, with everyone guessing Si Chen is about to try and solo his way to first place. Malong's crew is absolutely living for this drama. They're calling Si Chen a legend for putting those arrogant council members in their place. Gong Ting, however, just flashes a calm smile. It's all good. It seems Brother Si Chen has his own agenda. With that, the crowd starts to break up and leave the testing area. Watching from a high-rise office, the university president is bummed they didn't join forces, but the blonde woman beside him finds this whole mess way more entertaining. Changdae leans in and whispers to Gong Ting, offering to go educate Si Chen for his insolence. Gong Ting shoots him an ice-cold stare. You think I'm that pathetic? He turns and leaves. He tells the squad to figure out their own plans for the rest of the day. This blonde guy tells his friend that whatever he does next is on him. The guy in the floral shirt is stunned for a second, but then a slow, sinister smirk creeps across his face. He gets it now. In another part of town, Some guy with white hair is being asked if Si Chen bounced from the school. The white-haired informant confirms he saw Si Chen walk right off campus, not even stopping for food. Heaven is on my side, the boss thinks. Now I can finally go all out on Si Chen, with no school rules to get in my way. As his target strolls down the street, headphones in, he slips past a chain-link fence, completely oblivious that he's being hunted. In my last life, the warrior remembers the absolute carnage of the demon raid. This single demon had unleashed a tidal wave of destructive purple energy. The narrator reveals the name of this apocalyptic beast was Wrath. In this new timeline, Si Chen has to pinpoint the exact coordinates of Wrath's demonic lair. He's cooking up a strategy, but to even get started, he needs a serious amount of cash. His quest for funds brings him to a massive, imposing building, the Mithril Monster Exchange. This whole operation is run by the Mithril Guild, a man explains inside, and it's on track to become the largest resource exchange in the entire nation, the ultimate marketplace for buying and selling gear. This is the fastest way to get the capital I need, Si Chen thinks, scanning the armory packed with weapons. He drops a few vicious-looking monster fangs on the counter. The appraiser lazily picks one up, and his jaw hits the floor. You? A student? Where the hell did you get something like this? This guy is a total tool. He scoffs that he only handles high-end materials, not some E-rank junk brought in by a kid. He's also moaning to himself internally. He's griping about the drought of big spender clients, wondering how he'll ever climb the corporate ladder. He continues his internal rant about being saddled with customers who won't make him any real commission. So he decides to offload the grunt work onto the new girl. Little Lee, he calls out, you handle the rest of this paperwork. The woman slides a case with his payment across the counter. Is there anything else I can assist you with? She asks. He glances at the receipt. The fangs cashed out at 18,000. It's enough to cover his rent for a bit, but he's just getting started. Si Chen looks at her and unleashes a colossal, great sword that pulses with a sinister purple aura. The new appraiser's eyes go wide. Whoa, that's an insane greatsword. She's thinking she's never seen a weapon with an aura like that. It has to be B rank, minimum, maybe even an A rank. But the first appraiser just laughs in her face. Rank A? Are you delusional? He sneers. He's never even laid eyes on one. A new voice cuts in as a man with teal hair enters the room. You're correct. This is definitely not some B or A rank piece of equipment. The snobby appraiser immediately starts kissing up to him. As expected of your legendary insight, boss. The boss examines the weapon. This is unmistakably a relic from the land of purgatory. Rank S equipment. The other two absolutely freak out, screaming, an S-rank weapon? The boss's entire demeanor flips on a dime. He's suddenly shaking Si Chen's hand like an old friend, calling him their most honored guest and offering to personally escort him to the VIP lounge. Whatever you desire, just say the word. Si Chen looks at this man, a knowing glint in his eye. So, he thinks, you've finally shown yourself. Qingji. The name is printed on a business card belonging to the top dog of the Mithril Guild. Inside a seriously lavish VIP room, Qingji cuts right to the chase. He asks what Si Chen's plan is for the S-rank weapon. Si Chen hits him with a number, 1 million. Qingji looks absolutely floored by the ridiculously low figure. You only want 1 million? He asks, completely baffled. He points out that even basic A-rank gear fetches more than 1 million. This ring is a monster, worth tens of millions. I want to use this S-rank weapon as collateral, Si Chen announces, for a $1 million loan, and I'll have it paid back in a month. The appraiser is just frozen, his brain buffering. He's thinking, what kind of college kid even does this? It clicks. Si Chen doesn't want to sell the weapon, he just wants to borrow against its insane value. To sweeten the pot, Si Chen adds, I'll repay the entire amount in 1 month, plus 10% interest. Give us the room. The assistant with pink hair bows her head and silently exits. The appraiser pushes his glasses up his nose, his expression sharp. I'm aware you're a senior at the National Awakened University, he says. He lays his cards on the table. The graduation exam is in 1 month, and the grand prize is exactly 1 million. He leans in, his eyes gleaming with understanding. So, let me take a wild guess. He asks Si Chen point blank. You're absolutely positive you're going to snag first place, aren't you? Si Chen could just chill and wait for the prize money. But the fact that he's not means he must be in a serious jam and needs the cash for something critical. In that case, the appraiser declares with a crafty smile, dropping a massive counteroffer, 1.5 million, in cash, right now, and you'll have 0 interest for a full month. Si Chen is visibly surprised by the insane generosity of the terms. The appraiser says he's banking on Si Chen, remembering them for future business, promising him the VIP treatment. He pieced together my identity and my entire motive, from almost nothing, Si Chen thinks, and he gets that I can't dismantle Wrath all on my own. Their handshake seals the pact. Si Chen knows he's going to need allies he can actually count on. He lays his palm over a glowing mana contract, making the deal official. The second the contract is sealed, his phone buzzes. A deposit of 1.5 million hits his account. The pink-haired woman returns, explaining they don't currently have S-rank items, but their stock of A and B rank gear is massive. The entire guild staff is now completely freaking out. They're all bowing and waving as Sai Chen heads for the door, chanting about what a true hero and honored guest he is. The boss gives the pink-haired woman a promotion right on the spot for locking down such a high-profile client, but Si Chen pauses by the window, turning back. There's one more thing. He glances over his shoulder. I'd like to buy something. After wrapping up his business, Si Chen slides into a taxi. His thoughts drift to his previous life, where money was the constant, crushing weight on their shoulders right after graduation. He hadn't awakened his powers back then, and not a single guild would give him the time of day. He remembers the desperate hustle between part-time delivery jobs, staring at a pitifully low bank balance. Right when his sister, Si Yun, got her acceptance letter to a world-class art academy, the scene plays out in his memory. A letter she tore into pieces just to stay with him, terrified of being a financial burden. My sister threw away her entire dream for me, Si Chen thinks, gripping his phone. Suddenly, a voice he knows better than his own calls out. Bro, I've told you like a million times, she scolds him playfully. The pickup spot is at the exit, not the entrance. So you really got turned around again? A voice he hasn't heard in 7 long years asks. At least grab my suitcase, will you? Si Yun is standing right there, luggage in hand. In a flash, Si Chen closes the distance and pulls her into a crushing hug. She's totally bewildered by the sudden, intense embrace. Si Chen just shuts his eyes and smiles, holding his sister tight. She's completely stiff in his arms, just barely managing to say his name. Then she starts to struggle, yelling that he's literally choking her. Stop spacing out so we can finally bounce, Si Yun says, tugging him along by the arm. Si Chen just gazes at her with a gentle smile, completely overjoyed to have her back. But somewhere else, a pack of thugs is hiding in an alley, the exact route Si Chen has to take to get home. Their leader, a guy in a loud floral shirt, orders them to stay low and ambush him on sight. He sneers, promising to show Sai Chen exactly what happens when you disrespect him. Mr. Chiang Di, with this many of us, one of the goons says nervously, we might end up killing Si Chen by mistake. I was just gonna rough him up a bit. Chiang Di scoffs, the memory of Si Chen's cold dismissal flashing in his mind. Forget that, he snarls. I'm gonna cripple him. Make sure he can't even enter the graduation exam. At the same time, Si Chen and his sister are walking down the street, blissfully unaware of the trap that's been set. Si Yun sips her drink, asking if he's acting so weird, because the stress of the exam is getting to him. She teases him. It's not like a dork like you is all heartbroken over some girl. Then she tries to lift his spirits. Remember what you always used to tell me? Life is a long journey, and your moment will come eventually. She even starts humming a little tune about believing in yourself as they walk side by side. She's sharp, Si Chen thinks to himself. She can already tell that I've changed, but she still has no clue that he's awakened his powers. He tells her he's good, but she just assumes it's his dumb male pride acting up again. It hits her, something she read in a book, clicks into place. Her big brother isn't sick, he's just getting old. Meanwhile, back in the shadowy alley, one of the thugs points out that Si Chen isn't alone. A predatory gleam sparks in his friend's eyes, who sneers that this is perfect since they're off the grid. Oh, this is bad. A man with piercing crimson eyes stares off screen, sensing a colossal power rapidly approaching. The student gets it now. Back to our guy, Si Chen, who calmly slips his earbuds out and gently places them in his sister's ears. She closes her eyes, a smile gracing her lips as she gets lost in the music. You know, they say music is a window into a person's soul. Si Chen muses, his expression hardening as he turns his head. This is the perfect way to understand my brother a little better, Shi Yun thinks to herself, just as her brother's eyes begin to glow with a brilliant blue light. And right on cue, here they come, the same punks from before, just a pack of D and E rank nobodies. Shi Yun is completely zoned out, lost in the song, as the thugs come charging down the street. As the siblings keep walking, a vivid memory from Shi Chen's past life flashes through his mind. He lost his entire family in the year 216. He didn't see his sister again until the year 267. 7 agonizing years later, this is the first time in 7 years that he's been reunited with any family at all, and these lowlifes have the nerve to ruin this perfect moment. In a flash, he sends one of the thugs soaring through the air. The song keeps playing in Shi Yun's ears, ruins framed in stone, broken peaks in gray. While she's peacefully vibing, Shi Chen's fist ignites with golden lightning. A red-haired thug can only let out a terrified shriek as the attack closes in. Shi Chen becomes a blur of destructive motion, systematically taking out the whole crew with savage efficiency. He vaults himself into the air, unleashing a bone-shattering kick. But one of them has an ace up his sleeve. A massive, bandaged fist comes hurtling down. Damn. Shi Chen effortlessly snags the giant's wrist with one hand, stopping it dead in its tracks. Shi Chen's glowing fist then slams into the goon's arm, completely shattering the bone. The guy screams in pure agony. Ag, my arm. The punch connects with vicious force, sending a spray of blood everywhere. A shockwave of pure power erupts from the impact, blasting the entire group of thugs off their feet. No way. One of the goons can only think one thing. Holy crap, how is he this strong? The terrified leader in the Hawaiian shirt gasps. Wreathed in golden energy, Shi Chen lunges for his next target. He lands a crushing punch right in another punk's face. The Hawaiian shirt leader is now the last one standing, watching the beatdown in absolute horror. He grinds his teeth, trying to hype himself up. Damn it, I'm one of the top cloud-type assassins. You think I can't fight back? He yells, just as a powerful blow sends him flying. Shi Chen's incandescent fist smashes right into his face. He follows it up with a vicious downward strike. A voiceover kicks in as the sheer force of the blow snaps the leader's head back violently. His body is sent spiraling through the air before it crashes hard onto the pavement. From the ground, all the thugs can see is a dark, menacing silhouette with glowing red eyes. Shi Chen stands over the now unconscious leader. I told you already, stay out of my way. His eyes are blazing with pure rage. Do you not understand plain English? This terrifying silhouette with burning eyes looms over them. He stands over the broken man, his words echoing ominously. I told you already, don't bother me. His furious glare feels like it could burn a hole right through them. Are you incapable of understanding simple words? The test results. They were real, the leader realizes, lying in a spreading pool of his own blood. Shi Chen is definitely way above rank D. Shi Chen presses a knife to the leader's lips. Shut up. Make one more sound and I swear I'll kill you. The leader is now sobbing in pure terror. His eyes aren't lying. He's dead serious. He sees Shi Chen as nothing but a terrifying silhouette with those burning eyes. He's just a student. How can his killing intent be this heavy? Every single word I'm about to say, you better burn into your memory. Shi Chen warns, staring him down with a single, glowing red eye. I don't care if you scum want to go rot in a ditch somewhere, but you will not bother me again, and you will never dare to threaten my sister's safety, he snarls at the defeated thugs. No, if you even appear in my sister's line of sight, every last one of you, he hisses, pressing the knife harder against the man's mouth. I won't hesitate for a second to make you disappear forever. Got it? Shi Chen warns, his eyes wide with fury. The terrified leader can only nod his head frantically. Shi Chen tosses the knife aside and walks away, leaving the broken man in his wake. He feels so lonely, Shi Yun thinks. As a single tear rolls down her cheek, she's baffled by why the song is hitting her so hard. Why does listening to this song make me want to cry? You're not that lonely, you dummy. I've been right by your side this whole time, she thinks. She pulls out an earbud, looking annoyed. Bro, playing this emo card is so cringe. Shi Chen turns back to face her, holding out a small red gift box as a smile spreads across his face. Shi Yun, this is a gift for you. Inside is a beautiful, gleaming golden pen. She is completely and totally stunned. This is a magic holographic drawing pen, and it's the latest model from the Dore Corporation. This costs over 10,000. Where in the world did you get the money? She demands from the warmly smiling Shi Chen. In my past life, I couldn't protect you, Shi Chen thinks, a memory of his sister flashing through his mind, trying to convince herself that she should return such an expensive gift. I couldn't guard your dreams, either. This time, I'll protect everything that's yours. Shi Chen makes a solemn vow as he and his sister walk away from the mangled thugs. Later, Shi Yun is absolutely ecstatic with her new gift. A pen that actually draws holograms? Dude, this is next level. I can literally sketch images right into the air. Shi Chen happily chows down on the noodles she cooked up. I'm glad you like it, Xiao Yun. Man, Xiao Yun's fried egg noodles are seriously the goat. But bro, rent is still a thing, she points out. You're out here blowing cash like it's nothing. Her conflicted eyes lock onto the ridiculously expensive pen. Then, Shi Chen just casually drops a nuke. I already paid this year's rent. In full. He tries to brush it off with a totally sus lie about a business deal. Well, I partnered with a friend. Made some money. His sister ain't buying it. Crossing her arms. So, we're keeping secrets from each other now? She challenges. But then her whole expression softens. She places a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Anyway, bro. No matter what you're mixed up in, I've always got your back, she tells him, flashing a warm, supportive smile. Chongdi's injuries are catastrophic. Over 60% of his bones have been shattered, a subordinate reports grimly. The scene dissolves to an underwater shot of a vibrant coral reef. A man stands before a colossal aquarium, hearing that even the most elite healers will need a solid month to piece Chongdi back together. This is because of that green-eyed guy from before, he mutters. I never figured he'd actually throw down with Chaeyoung K and end up this wreck. A woman in a green dress observes. This means Chong Di is going to have to sit out the graduation exam. The man just scoffs. Irrelevant. My team just shed some dead weight. Who was holding us back anyway? Oof, that is ice cold. In a different office, an older man with glasses scans a document. The subject, Si Chen. This is Gong Xuan, the director of career services. Elsewhere, a man with piercing yellow eyes listens intently to a briefing. His subordinate explains how his father invited the Alliance vice chairman to the graduation exam, a power move to make sure no one could possibly steal his spotlight. An older man with a mustache and glasses gazes out the window. If it comes to it, I may have to ask my niece. To fill the empty slot on Gong Ting's team, he finishes. But the woman in green cuts him off. Uncle, you're seriously overthinking this, she tells the startled older man. The yellow-eyed man smirks from across the room. Do you honestly believe I was going all out? During that evaluation, staring down a shark in a massive tank, the rival vows, they're about to find out who the real top dog is. Back with Si Chen, his thoughts are clear. With my money problem solved, I can finally get my plan started. Si Chen thinks to himself after wrapping up his daily grind. His next objective is a massive one. A TV broadcast blares about the $1 million scholarship prize. His mission is clear. Win the exam, secure the scholarship, and wipe out his debt to Qingji. He knows he's bound by that contract. Lying in bed, Si Chen begins the final countdown. Less than a month until go time. His plan is brutally simple. Grind out a few more levels. Stepping into the hellscape training dimension, he checks his status. My weakest class, Doomfang King, is a mid-tier C rank. But his strongest class, Purgatory Rakshasa, was on a completely different planet. He realizes this when he sees its rank is so high, it literally breaks the system's ability to measure it. He's sure it's an S-rank class, but how to unleash its full power is still a massive question mark. He reflects on the fact that the ranks for his other two classes are still a total mystery. A glowing, triple S rank key materializes in his hand, and he uses it to unlock the colossal gates to the Demon Tower. Today, I'm going to test my limits, Si Chen declares before the swirling purple vortex. I wonder what kind of craziness is waiting for me inside. The swirling portal consumes him. He blinks his eyes open and takes in his new surroundings. He's landed in a place called the Starfall Barrens. It's a bizarre, alien landscape underneath a glowing nebula. A spiky silhouette materializes against a strange, striped backdrop. Si Chen's head whips around, startled by something just out of frame. He suddenly buckles to one knee, straining against an invisible force. The gravity here is on another level. The weakened challenger grits out. He knows he needs to adapt to this environment, and he needs to do it fast. Just then, a massive, glowing purple paw slams into the ground right next to him. A rank B monster has appeared, a phantom lion. Catching his breath, Si Chen's hand begins to crackle with bright yellow energy. So, you're the welcome party on this floor? The glutton quips. Si Chen braces himself for a showdown with the celestial beast. The lion lunges, and our boy masterfully slides right under it. His mind is racing. I need to end this fight, now. He launches his paralysis attack, but the lion dodges. Si Chen's eyes widen in disbelief. No way, he thinks. I missed. The crushing gravity is trashing his speed and accuracy. Before he can recalibrate, the massive purple energy beast body slams him into the ground. In an environment like this, his assassin class has lost almost all of its advantages. He comes to this conclusion while throwing a desperate punch that crackles with pink and blue energy. And yeah, it's time for a switch-up. He swaps to his Purgatory Rakshasa class, a star warrior. He knows each class has its own core strengths, and this situation calls for a warrior, he grunts, catching the beast's claw with his bare hands before flipping clean over it. By cranking gravity to an insane 60 times multiplier, he pile-drives the monster's head straight into the fractured ground. This punch is maxed out. He knows this beast can only let out one last scream as a beam of pure energy rips right through it. This won't stop me, the monster howls, even as the colossal explosion of power completely vaporizes it. After the smoke clears, Si Chen's hand is just a mangled, limp wreck on the floor. A system window pops up, explaining that every star on a class card is a direct stat multiplier. We see a single, glowing star as a demo. The more stars you've got, the more busted your class becomes. After he switches, his Purgatory Rakshasa is rocking a massive 11 stars, while his Volt Assassin is sitting at 9. So the Rakshasa class has a bigger multiplier and is way stronger overall. Its rank should definitely be higher than the Volt Assassin, post-switch, but he just had to burn everything in his tank just to take down one B-rank monster. A stat chart confirms the grim reality. Both of his main classes are hard stuck at B rank, with his weakest slumming it at C. Man, this guy has a serious grind ahead of him. He's thinking about how neither of his classes has even managed to break through that B rank ceiling yet. But speaking of which, something feels off. He just iced the monster. So where's the door to the next level? He stands completely alone in the desolate landscape, searching for the gate. Then, a horrifying thought dawns on him. A swirling vortex of pure energy begins to materialize in the void. A piercing sound shatters the silence. A colossal black hole tears open the sky right above him, and peering out from the darkness inside are countless glowing eyes. Oh, no, he realizes. The real boss of this floor hasn't even made its entrance yet. His eyes widen in pure terror. The thing he just gave his all to kill was just the opening act. A spectral beast lunges out, its claws sinking deep into his shoulder as a whole pack of them descends, ready to tear him limb from limb. Bro, this is messed up. And in that moment of searing agony, the name of his class finally makes sense. A voice echoes inside his head. Open the door. Endless suffering awaits you. One of the beasts roars directly in his face. Si Chen is drenched in his own blood, his expression a mask of pure, unyielding grit. You must conquer, the voice commands. He jolts awake with a sharp gasp, clutching his blanket. He's safe in his dorm room, heart pounding after that hyper-realistic training simulation. He grips his chest, the phantom pain still fresh. He accepts his destiny. This is his path now, a lonely and savage trek through purgatory. The scene then cuts to a packed auditorium for the graduation combat exam ceremony. The entire hall is buzzing with rumors. Apparently, some high-level officials are here to watch, which explains the sudden change in the exam rules. One student lays out the new requirement. Teams must have 5 members, with at least one E-rank upper tier. Everyone's whispering that it's just to make the fights more entertaining for the bigwigs. Up at the front of the room, an instructor with a thick mustache clears his throat. He announces that all student ranking information has just been sent to their wristbands. He orders them to check the list and squad up as fast as possible. A flash of light signals the data transfer is complete. All across the room, students summon holographic screens from their wrist devices. The list is a roster of names and their ranks, mostly filled with D and E tier students, but one kid in glasses is just staring at his screen in total disbelief. He mutters, "Whoa, wait a second. That's not right." He scrolls frantically down the list and finds Si Chen's name tagged as E lower tier. The student points at the screen, asking how Si Chen could possibly be ranked that low. The confusion spreads. Everyone remembers he clearly tested as a C rank. Someone guesses that the demon core he used for the test must have been busted. A couple of guys in the back, though, are looking way too smug about it. One of them even admits he was considering teaming up with Si Chen, but obviously not anymore. Another one smirks, thinking that now Si Chen is totally radioactive. Nobody will want him on their team. The gossip spreads like a virus, with everyone calling him dead weight and saying he must be regretting turning down Gong Ting. And speaking of Gong Ting, the yellow-eyed rival just watches the chaos unfold in silence. The instructor, who just so happens to be Gong Ting's uncle, watches his nephew from the stage. He thinks to himself how useless his nephew is, and wonders when he'll ever learn to use his true power. A sinister smile twists the uncle's lips. He decides he'll teach the boy a lesson, by making sure his rival can't even qualify for the exam. Wow, he actually rigged it. An announcement blares, telling students to hurry up and finalize their teams. Footsteps echo as the crowd parts. A chant starts up for President Gong Ting. Students are practically begging him, pleading to be allowed on his team. They're offering their skills, their loyalty, literally anything, just to snag a spot. Man, talk about thirsty. One of Gong Ting's current teammates shouts that they only have room for one more person. Elsewhere, a different team successfully forms. Their bracelets glow in confirmation. All around the auditorium, squads are locking in while Si Chen is left standing alone. But one other group is also struggling. "We've asked everyone, but nobody wants to join us," one of them says. They're starting to panic that they won't even make it into the exam. Si Chen knows this test is everything, since it literally decides every student's future. The rules for the final exam are then explained. The amount of monsters present in the layer. The difficulty literally adjusts to your squad's numbers. A visual shows a small crew up against just a couple of monsters, while a massive team gets swarmed by a proportionally huge mob. Going in with a big group isn't always the W. But even so, nobody wants to party up with bottom-tier players like Si Chen and his dorm mates. A pop-up drops a brutal fact. Their dorm houses the 3 absolute lowest-ranked students in the entire school. At this point, their future is looking grim. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the noise, calling out to Shang Zhao. He snaps his head up, totally caught off guard. Some dude from another squad is offering him a spot, but he's also trashing Shang Zhao's current crew of E-rank nobodies. Si Chen's eyes narrow, taking in every word. He and his 3 friends are completely iced out. Shang Zhao's gaze falls to the floor, actually weighing the offer. Bro, talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. One of the guys looks down, his voice barely a whisper, as he apologizes. He says he can't just ditch his roommates. They made a pact to stick together through this. The squad trying to poach him absolutely loses it, screaming at him, calling him an ungrateful piece of trash. Yo, that is just toxic. A team status window reveals that nearly every single slot is already taken. One of Si Chen's friends starts to freak out, saying they're just one person short, and no one's going to join their dead-end team. But Si Chen just glances over his shoulder, a faint glow emanating from his eyes. He's thinking about how they just casually changed the exam rules last minute. They even messed with his official rank data to make sure no one would team up with him, all because they're terrified he might outshine their golden boy, Gong Ping. But he's not about to sit this exam out, not a chance. Yellow lightning begins to crackle around his neck as his resolve hardens. He thinks to himself, if they're going to come at him this openly, then he'll just have to show them that true power isn't something you can measure with a test score. The teacher with the mustache looks over, his face a mask of pure shock. Si Chen's friends are shouting his name, begging to know what the heck he's doing. A text box explains that awakened academies have this very specific tradition. Si Chen rises to his feet, a storm of energy swirling around him. As the text clarifies, the tradition is all about sparring. His rival, Gong Ting, just watches from the sidelines with an icy glare. Si Chen's eyes blaze with a brilliant gold light, fully prepared to cause a massive scene. But then a voice rings out from the entrance. Si Chen, still need one more? A blonde woman is standing there, radiating confidence. I hit rank D back in middle school, so I probably won't hold you guys back, right? Gong Ting is absolutely floored, yelling, she's my cousin, while the teacher just stares, unable to process what's happening. The crowd erupts in whispers. The student council vice president, Ling Yu, wants to join Si Chen's team. She strides toward him as the gossip intensifies, students murmuring that she's some kind of prodigy from a whole different kingdom. The teacher finally finds his voice and bellows her name, Lan Ling Yu. He argues that as an exchange student, she's not allowed to participate. He points out, she's never even taken an official rank test, but she just stands there, arms crossed, totally unbothered. The teacher keeps insisting that Ling Yu is violating school policy by even trying to enter, but a new voice slices through his tirade. A man materializes in a flash of purple energy. The teacher's words get stuck in his throat. He's completely frozen, staring at the school's principal, who just appeared out of thin air. The principal looks right at Ling Yu, demanding to know why a temporary student is inserting herself into all this drama. Si Chen just watches, totally confused. He was sure the principal was a warrior class, so how did he just teleport? The principal tells Ling Yu that her presence would completely shatter the exam's balance, and she just smirks, saying, what a total shame. A sharp sound slices the air. Si Chen's eye flashes a vibrant cyan, as he activates his skill to analyze the chaos. His detection ability scans the principal and Ling Yu, but their ranks just display as question marks. It hits him like a truck. He can't even read the levels of these two. They're playing in a whole different league. The mustached teacher instantly starts bootlicking the principal, loudly agreeing that the school has to uphold its regulations. The principal launches into a grand speech about the university's sacred duty to forge world-class fighters. He goes on, proclaiming the graduation exam is a tradition stretching back decades and a pivotal moment in every student's life. Then he poses a heavy question. What happens when students are about to lose that opportunity because of some special circumstances? He finishes his speech with a piercing stare. How could the school possibly take responsibility for that? Oh damn, he's putting him on blast. A pair of bold red exclamation points appear, highlighting the sudden, suffocating tension. The teacher starts pouring sweat, realizing the principal is not so subtly calling him out for rigging the system. He thinks the principal is actually siding with Ling Yu. He shoots a venomous glare at Si Chen, seething that the principal would go to such lengths for this little punk, but he knows he has to fold. There's no way he can win a direct clash with someone this powerful. He thinks to his nephew, Gong Ting, that this is the most he can do to help him. He tries to salvage his ego, thinking that Si Chen is still saddled with 3 completely useless teammates. In his mind, victory for his nephew is still a sure thing. The teacher then publicly eats his words, announcing that it was their mistake for making the new rules so unfair. Wow, talk about a 180. He declares that any team with fewer than 5 members is now officially allowed to register. The gates to the exam are now open for everyone. A notification screen flashes. Team formation successful. His new crew erupts in cheers. The crowd is buzzing, saying Si Chen has to be the captain. Across the room, an old-timer clocks Ling Yu, noticing she's way too invested in Si Chen. A system prompt explains the rules. Once a squad is finalized, the captain gets to pick which demon layer they're diving into. An official overseeing the selections nearly jumps out of his seat when a submission comes through instantly. He's thinking, how could any team possibly choose their layer that fast? The other students are just as floored when they realize it was Si Chen's crew, but that shock quickly turns to utter disbelief when they see the layer he locked in. His own teammates are absolutely spiraling, screaming at him to cancel the selection immediately. Yeah, this can't be good. They're shouting at him, asking if he has any idea what he just doomed them to. But Si Chen just stares forward, completely unbothered. His mismatched eyes are on full display as the screen reveals his choice, a layer swarming with horrifying shadow demons, their red eyes burning in the dark. So, the scoring system gets broken down. First up is the clear rate, which can bag you up to 10 points. Then there's defeating the boss, worth a massive 20 points. And finally, your completion time is worth another 20 points. Tackling an F-rank layer grants you a 1.5 times multiplier. That gives you a maximum score of 75, but an E-rank layer cranks that up to a 2 times multiplier for a potential perfect score of 100. A diagram illustrates how the points stack up for an E-rank challenge, showing the path to that legendary 100-point perfect score. Nailing a perfect score is the ultimate flex for any team. It's also a near guarantee for the Team MVP award. Someone points out that the school's all-time high score is a measly 90 points, with another student adding that E-rank layers are so brutal you'd need at least 3 D-rank members just to survive. As far as anyone's concerned, Gong Ting's team is the only one with a real shot at shattering that record. An instructor's monitor pings with a notification. He leans in closer, and his eyes go wide when he realizes with a jolt that it's Si Chen's team. He sees on the screen that they didn't just pick E-rank, they actually went for a D-rank layer. Across the hall, Gong Ting looks over, his expression cold and calculating. The instructor whispers to a student nearby that no class in the school's history has ever managed to clear a D-rank layer. One of Si Chen's new squad mates grabs his arm and yells, "Si Chen, are you completely insane?" While another teammate just thinks he's an absolute madman. He literally collapses to the floor in total despair as his wristband glows ominously. His friend with the glasses pleads with him to think this through. Si Chen just gives him a stone-cold look. "I have." And just like that, a notification confirms the submission is locked. No going back. Seconds later, another team's selection lights up the board. It's Gong Ting. The absolute madman chose a D-rank layer too, and a system-wide announcement confirms it. Gong Ting's team is officially registered. The instructors are in an absolute uproar. Another team just picked a D-rank layer. Someone just screams, "Are you kidding me?" But Gong Ting and his crew just sit there, completely chill, thinking this year is going to be insane. One of his teammates smirks, calling them a bunch of nobodies trying to act tough. She thinks they're completely clueless about their own limits. And for a moment, Si Chen and his friends stand completely isolated in the massive hall. The gossip starts flying that they're just chasing clout, since they're going to lose anyway. Gong Ting's goons start openly mocking them. They're yelling that Si Chen's team is already imploding. The friend with glasses just stares at Si Chen, completely silent, clearly weighing his options. His expression is impossible to read. Then, he makes up his mind, "I'll stick with you, till the very end." Damn, now that's a true friend. He figures they'll probably finish last anyway, so the rank of the dungeon doesn't even matter. He says that at this point, they might as well charge into a D-rank layer just to see what all the fuss is about. But the third teammate grits his teeth and finally explodes. "Hey, what about me?" He's pissed, yelling that he's the dorm boss but was the last one to get a say. A system notification flashes, sealing their fate. D-rank layer selected. Si Chen's team is officially registered. He looks over at his new squad as the 4 of them stand together, a united front, a newly formed and seriously dysfunctional unit. He looks at them and declares that together, they're going to take the highest score. Si Chen flashes them a wicked smirk, ready to lead the charge. He's thinking to himself, the MVP award is mine. The sheer confidence is unreal. The audacity is off the charts. Ling Yu, watching from the sidelines, isn't even looking at him. She's staring at Gong Ting, thinking this is the first time she's ever seen that look on his face. As Si Chen's team walks away, it's clear the unspoken rivalry has finally erupted into an all-out war. The older gentleman with Ling Yu just smiles, saying, "Ah, youth. So wonderful and completely fearless of the unknown." But a woman next to him just scoffs, arguing that it's flat-out impossible for Si Chen to clear a D-rank layer with that ragtag crew of his. A text box then explains that D-rank layers offer a 3 times multiplier, with a theoretical max score of a mind-blowing 150 points. For comparison's sake, an E-rank layer has a 2 times multiplier, capping out at a max of 100 points. The D-rank layer's insane 3 times multiplier and 150-point max score are displayed in a menacing, blood-red font. And you better believe the difficulty is several orders of magnitude higher than any E-rank layer. She's thinking that with their current strength, this move isn't just a bad strategic choice, it's practically a suicide mission. But the old man just keeps on smiling that cryptic smile, like he knows a secret that she can't even begin to imagine. With the exam just half a month out, Everyone knows, making any real leap in power is basically impossible. We see other students grinding it out late at night in a combat sim room, as instructors pray Chen's squad can at least pull off a respectable showing. Meanwhile, Chen's friend is totally melting down while the rest of their team is just crashed out on the floor. He's beefing about them running basic drills, but Chen shuts him down, saying that right now, combat practice is just useless theory. Chen drops some serious knowledge, explaining that when you drop into an unknown demon lair, it's not your brain or some fancy combo that saves your skin, it's your gut instinct. He tells his crew that every ounce of their training is just to sharpen that primal edge, knowing damn well that the school's simulations are a joke. Only a live fire situation truly matters. But his buddy fires back that normies can't just waltz into private training layers. A fire ignites in Chen's eyes, glowing crimson with raw determination. The scene flashes back to a training layer where the one-percenters do whatever it takes to stay on top. This dude in a suit is one of them, part of an elite obsessed with protecting their power, born with every advantage that a regular person could never even dream of. So his friend asks the million-dollar question, what shot do they have against that? Chen lays out the game plan. They're going to ace the exam, smash the high score, get into the Imperial Guild, and shatter the class system itself. His glasses-wearing friend's eyes go wide, realizing this exam is their one and only chance, and Chen knows this is his moment to finally leave them all in the dust. He swears he'll pour everything he has into making it happen for them. He declares, with unshakable confidence, that they are absolutely going to win. And so, the grind begins inside a place called the Dream Tower. Chen throws himself against spectral beasts, earning a brutal slash across his chest for his trouble. He takes a claw swipe to the face but just keeps on coming. In the physical world, the team is running suicides until they literally collapse. Back in the Dream Tower, he dodges another vicious attack with lightning-fast reflexes. At the same time, Gong Ting is in his own private training layer, effortlessly carving through monsters. Chen, however, is pushing his body to its breaking point, busting out push-ups with a ridiculously heavy weight strapped to his back. And Gong Ting? He just stands there, surrounded by flames, looking smug as hell. Classic. But Chen's insane effort pays off. He levels up, becoming a Volt assassin. Drenched in his own blood, he just glares forward. The real fight starts now, and he's more than ready. A tiny escort drone with a cheerful emoji face buzzes up to greet the candidates. Chen pulls on his gloves, flips up his hood, and gets laser-focused for the fight. An announcement cracks to life. Attention everyone, the graduation exam. A jagged blue portal tears open reality, crackling with raw power as the system boots up and an announcement echoes out. And with that, the exam is officially underway. The screen cuts to a title card, The Glutton Outside the Academy. A fleet of sleek, black luxury cars glides to a halt, and a voice rings out, President Gong, it's been a while. The principal is shaking hands with a man decked out in a crisp white suit. This is Gong Lin, a co-founder of the legendary Imperial Guild and, get this, Gong Ting's dad. Up on a balcony, students are absolutely losing their minds, completely starstruck by the famous guildmaster. Then, another limo pulls up. A wave of murmurs ripples through the crowd. Who could possibly be more important? The door opens, and a man with fiery reddish hair steps out, looking sharp as hell. Someone's jaw practically hits the floor as they recognize him. It's Carl Cavendish, the freaking vice chairman of the World Guild Alliance. Damn, they brought out the heavy hitters, a student whispers in awe, noting that they shut down the entire administrative district just for their arrival. A quick info dump reveals the Guild Alliance is basically the most OP organization on the planet. If one of these VIPs even glances your way, your future is basically guaranteed. They head inside, leaving the students buzzing with the fact that catching their attention could change everything. An instructor starts the briefing for the big shots. 184 students are diving in, split across 28 teams. The stats show a flood of teams hitting the F-rank layers, but only 2 squads were crazy enough to pick D rank. A woman named Sigrid speaks up. As the Secretary General of the Guild Alliance, she questions the D rank choice, asking sharply if the students were properly briefed on the insane level of danger. They absolutely were, the instructor confirms, explaining that D rank layers give even seasoned pros a run for their money, while most of these kids are low rank. These students can barely scrape by against F-rank mobs. We see a kid desperately fighting off a vicious thornjaw salamander just to make the point. The instructor continues, saying E-rank layers are a whole other beast, as we watch a team get absolutely demolished inside one. Their faces are masks of pure terror. Apparently, every single mob in an E-rank dungeon is as powerful as an F-rank final boss. A nightmare swarm of stag beetle spiders descends from the ceiling, and one of the students completely loses it. How is an E-rank this insane? This is so far beyond what we prepared for. So yeah, for the vast majority of students, Clearing an E-rank lair is a total pipe dream. Sigrid turns to the principal, demanding to know what safety protocols are in place. The principal just smiles, assuring her the students are their most precious assets. He explains that, fully armed, Imperial Guild members are on standby right outside every single lair. We see a hardened squad of them, guarding a swirling blue portal. The moment extreme danger is flagged, they're cleared to intervene. And if a student taps out, they're instantly teleported to safety, just like this squad that materializes back in the real world, looking like they've seen a ghost. Yikes. Sigrid acknowledges the risk, but notes that 2 teams still went for the D-rank lairs, calling them exceptionally talented, she says. She's eager to witness their performance. The principal just smirks, adding that he's also eager to see, specifically, how long they'll survive. Dude, that is stone cold. On a massive monitor, we see Si Chen's team navigating a desolate, snowy wasteland. The principal scoffs internally. He thinks to himself that these arrogant kids will be crying for an evac any second now. Si Chen is briefing his team on the ghost bat monkey cloud monster. He warns them about its insane speed and deadly dive bomb attacks, just as a colossal, shadowy figure with massive claws looms over them. From off-screen, an entire swarm of these bat-like nightmares shrieks and dives straight for them. Si Chen screams, a warning. He instantly throws himself to the side, narrowly avoiding a lightning-fast strike. The dorm boss isn't far behind, launching himself through the air to evade the attack. The whole team is just sprawled in the snow, breathless. Did we just dodge a D-rank monster? I'm not dead. A giant, furry beast erupts from the snowbank, with Si Chen standing calmly in the distance. His eyes begin to glow with a menacing yellow light. He tells his team, "You guys can't handle these things yet. Stay back and leave this to me," before rocketing forward in a flash of pure energy. But his teammates are already being overwhelmed. One gets clipped by a claw, while the other barely dodges. The dorm boss is sent flying, slamming violently into a tree. The friend with glasses has a horrifying realization. Si Chen's training was never about preparing them to fight alongside him. The dorm boss clenches his jaw, his pride shattered. He used to be the leader, the top dog, and now he has to rely on this new guy, just to pass graduation. Man, you can feel the sting from here. A monster's severed head tumbles into the snow. Si Chen is a blur of righteous fury, smashing through monsters with fists wreathed in lightning. A whole swarm of the furry, bat-like creatures swarms him. The dorm boss remembers Malong telling him Si Chen was on another level, and he didn't buy it for a second. He was so wrong. This guy's power isn't anything like a graduating student's. It feels like he's been left light years behind. The friend with glasses snaps him out of it, screaming, "Watch out, there's another one coming from behind you." The dorm boss's fist explodes in flames. Hell no, he is not sitting on the sidelines. He roars, "This is my graduation exam too." His glasses-wearing friend grins, his own hand glowing with crackling green energy. He slams his palm on the ground, unleashing a torrent of vines. "Get a taste of this," he yells, as the thick vines shoot up and ensnare one of the flying beasts, yanking it right out of the air. But his confidence shatters when the monster instantly breaks free. Out of nowhere, another creature unleashes a torrent of ice, the cloud chant Frost Gust. Seizing the moment, this dorm boss launches a fireball straight at the iced-over creature. A raw, guttural roar erupts from the monster as the flames connect. Stunned that it's still standing, the dorm boss unloads, peppering it with a non-stop volley of fireballs. The scene is pure chaos. One of Si Chen's allies is buckling under the pressure, screaming he's about to lose control. Right beside him, Glasses is also losing it, yelling that he's completely tapped out. A small drone buzzes in, its mechanical voice congratulating them on defeating the ghost bat monkey. His 3 teammates just crumple into the snow, completely spent. They're screaming in victory, hyped that they actually managed to kill a D-rank beast. But Si Chen, he just hangs back, a silent shadow against the chaos. His buddy yells his name just as the monster's corpse spits out a literal fingerbone. The dorm boss, meanwhile, is smugly grinning, bragging about how it was a total cakewalk. Cut to the viewing room, where one of the instructors is absolutely losing his mind. He can't even form a sentence, sputtering about how those good-for-nothing students, with 0 real-world combat skills, somehow managed to take down a D-rank beast. Gong Ting's father, Gong Lin, just glares at the monitor, his face a thundercloud. But Carl Cavendish seems genuinely intrigued, remarking, "That young man, he's doing surprisingly well." The camera zooms in on Si Chen's stoic expression as Carl leans in, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. He murmurs that Si Chen reminds him of someone from his past. The name Si Chen gets filed away in his memory. He makes it clear he won't be forgetting it. Gong Lin's scowl deepens. He is clearly pissed about this turn of events. But just then, a sharp ping grabs the mustached instructor's attention. He clears his throat, drawing all eyes to the main screen. A new notification flashes. The other D-rank team has just blasted through to the lair's halfway point. On screen, we see Gong Ting's squad absolutely steamrolling monsters like they're nothing. One of the VIPs is glued to the monitor, his eyes narrowed in concentration, saying not a word. Sigrid pushes her glasses up her nose, remarking that their teamwork is flawless like a seasoned pro-guild raiding party. A smirk plays on Carl Cavendish's lips. Oh, interesting. This year's crop of graduates is certainly promising, but the mustached instructor's face is a mask of dread. He's thinking to himself, this is just the warm-up. He knows the true test is yet to come, and we see one of Gong Ting's teammates, a girl shredding on a guitar, unleashing a nasty debuff spell called Elegy of Decay. At the same time, another squad member starts gathering a vortex of violet energy into his fist. He unleashes it Star Pole Convergence, yanking a monster right towards them. In that same instant, Gong Ting becomes a flash of motion, his blade already out, slicing through for the final blow. The team stands over the fallen beast, and one of them scoffs, too easy. Another one smirks back. So the rumors are true. This whole exam was rigged for the Gong family from the start. Man, what a total setup. Cut back to see Chen's crew, who look like they've been through a war, trudging wearily through the deep snow. But see, Chen is a different story. His crimson eyes are locked forward, burning with cold resolve. They have reached the high-risk peak of the Cloud Forest summit. The four of them stagger onto the blizzard-swept peak of the mountain. One of them pants, completely in awe. I can't believe it. We actually climbed to the very top of a D-rank lair, and waiting for them is a colossal, battle-scarred ape, its eyes glowing with a menacing crimson light. That's when Glasses starts to freak out. Oh crap, 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 it sees us. It's looking right at us. The gargantuan creature lets out a deafening roar and barrels straight toward them, sending his teammates scattering and screaming in terror. But see, Chen doesn't even flinch. He just unleashes a massive tidal wave of pure blue energy that sends the monster hurtling through the air. His friend just stares, his mind completely blown. Wait, it still went down that easily? See, Chen coolly walks up to the monster's corpse, absorbing the loot and EXP. But something feels off. For a D-rank boss, the EXP is garbage, and the loot is straight-up trash. Just then, a shout from his teammate cuts through his thoughts. He's found magic crystals. He's frantically waving them towards a hollow tree, yelling for them to come see. They look inside and hit the jackpot, a huge cache of mid-grade magic crystals. A streak of blue lightning flashes past the screen at C. Chen, moving faster than the eye can see. The screen cuts to black, and a stark white symbol burns into view. Back in the control room, an alarm blares. The monitor for C. Chen's team flickers and dies. C. Chen's team signal lost. The mustached instructor just smirks. Well, looks like their little graduation exam journey is officially over. Geez, talk about a setup. Another instructor starts freaking out. Wait, at this point, the students' lives are in real danger, right? But Carl Cavendish calmly tells them, let's give them a bit more time. And we cut back to the lair, where Glasses lets out a massive, body-rattling sneeze. His whole team is encased in jagged spikes of ice. He's shivering uncontrollably, chattering, so cold. And then, a deep, guttural growl rumbles from the shadows of the frozen wasteland. Before their eyes, a colossal monster starts to materialize out of the ice itself. Glasses looks up in pure horror. Is this the real Lord of the Lair? A chilling, echoing laughter fills the air. The creature fully forms, revealing a horrifying skeletal king cloaked in shadow and sculpted from pure ice. A flash of recognition hits Glasses. Wait, I've seen this thing in the monster compendium. He remembers the description. A devious cloud mage that delights in playing with its victims before the kill. Its name is the Bone King of Frozen Remains. Seriously, what a name. A title card slams onto the screen, confirming it, a C-rank cloud mage. And that's when it all clicks for Glasses. The ice burst from before was all a trap. A cold dread washes over him. There's no way he can take on a rare rank Sea Lord class monster by himself. Desperate, he looks over, and his eyes land on Su Chen, who's completely trapped in a cocoon of ice. He knows he has to act, and fast. A warning blinks to life on his wrist, flashing the question, abandon the exam? He screams his defiance, his hand igniting with a brilliant blue energy. I gotta break Su Chen out of there. He unleashes a purification spell, convinced Su Chen is their only shot. But an ice spike brutally impales his shoulder, shattering the spell. It's useless. The Bone King just cackles at his pathetic effort. The name of the attack materializes. Ice Bone Spike. The towering Bone King looms over them, conjuring even more ice shards to finish them off. A system alert flares up for his glasses-wearing friend, flagging a severe arm wound and a dangerously high heart rate. It presents him with a single choice. Do you wish to abandon the exam? He clenches his jaw, the light glinting off his glasses as the thought of retreat tempts him. He flashes back to a lifetime of running away from every challenge, from every fear, and because of it, he was always left in the dust. He was invisible, a punchline, a target always treated like he was less than nothing. He remembers the desperate struggle, and everything they clawed for just to make it this far. He can almost feel the exhilaration of their first victory. The three of them collapsed in the snow. This was their one shot, their single opportunity to rewrite their destiny. With his eyes blazing blue, he roars that giving up is not an option. Holy crap, he's actually doing it. He unleashes a skill called Source of Purification, blasting it directly at Su Chen. The raw energy incinerates the hold of a skeletal monster that had locked Su Chen down. Su Chen bellows as the purifying light floods his system. The icy prison around him starts to spiderweb with cracks before shattering completely. His friend channels every last drop of his power into the spell. In a final burst, Su Chen and the dorm boss explode out of the ice. The skeletal lord stares, its glowing blue eye sockets wide with disbelief. Su Chen manages to catch his friend, just as he collapses from pure exhaustion. His buddy offers a weak smile, whispering that Su Chen shattered the control on his own. At the very end, he warns him that the creature is a rank Sea Lord, the Bone King of Frozen Remains, a C-rank boss. Su Chen's face turns grim as he faces the new threat while his friend fights for breath. The Bone King stands ominously in the distance, a horrifying skeletal figure shrouded in a deadly frost. Suddenly, his friend starts to freak out, seeing the boss has just launched a massive ice-burst bomb. There's no way to dodge it. A cataclysmic explosion of ice and raw power erupts from the boss. The entire battlefield is swallowed by a blinding, silent whiteness. As the explosive light slowly recedes, the Bone King lets out a victory roar, certain of its triumph. But then, through its own eyes, it sees an immense wall of ice that has completely nullified its attack. The skeletal boss's jaw literally drops in absolute shock, and his friend is just as floored. Su Chen, what the? And what is that power radiating off you? Aren't you supposed to be a Volt assassin? He asks out loud. Don't tell me you're one of those legendary 1 in 10,000 awakens? Su Chen is now cloaked in a new, powerful aura. Sorry, he says. I screwed up my calculations before and put you three in this mess. A system window materializes, showing a class switch is underway. Another notification flashes. The class switch is complete. He clenches his fist, his eyes practically glowing with newfound power. But that ends now. Yo, talk about a confidence boost.